new law in New York requires mental health professionals to report if they believe their patients pose a danger to themselves or to others. And if so, those patients can be stripped of their gun licenses. But the Department of Veterans Affairs says they're not complying because it could deter many vets from seeking help. Is this fair? Here for a balanced debate, Democratic strategist Mark Hanna's here, and 20-year veteran of the Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant Jesse Jane Duff. First off, Mark, this law, you can see the point that maybe people coming back from battle will be unfairly targeted, don't you?
Well, I think that anybody who's seeking mental health treatment and poses a clear and present danger to themselves or to other people is, a cause for concern. The National Rifle Association has been on the vanguard of calling for sort of a mental health registry of people who are posing a danger. This is their only remedy that they seem to be able to identify to the really horrific examples of gun violence we've had by people who are mentally unstable in the wake of Newtown, in the wake of Aurora, in the wake of Virginia Tech. So yeah. I think it seems like a pretty common sense law that New York passed.
Well, we know in the case of Aurora, we know his therapist seemed to have been on red alert for his violent activities. Why do you think that it's going to hurt, Jesse? Why do you think it's going to hurt veterans more?
Well, I would expect a politician or somebody who's in the political realm to think this way because they've never served on active duty or don't even know probably any veterans themselves. There are 22 million veterans out there. They have a right to defend themselves just like anyone else. And mental health is a critical issue for our veterans. And the Department of Veterans Affairs already has tools in place that if somebody were a threat, they would report it. For us to legislate through an additional law is insulting and makes a blanket statement that veterans could be a potential threat. The NRA has never stated they support this.
Brian, if I can just jump in real quick, I want to make sure it's very clear what we're talking about. This isn't about the right to own a gun. This isn't about the Second Amendment. What this is about is the right to privacy.
It's about releasing their privacy.
Jesse,
yes,
if you let
that's
me finish.
What we're talking about.
And look, I really appreciate, and as do we all, your service and the service of the people who go and fight for our country. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes to administering this law isn't targeted at veterans. This is anybody who's seeking mental health treatment.
Yes, it is. The Veterans Affairs. Yes, it is. Veterans have to release their medical records.
Why do you feel it's targeting? Why do you think it's targeting veterans more?
The VA has refused to release these records, and that's what we're on here today to discuss. And if you had served on active duty, you would understand that we already go through a battery of tests to serve our country proudly. We are here to defend our country, and our medical records should be kept private. The VA already has measures in place. So what are you chasing? Additional laws to glorify yourself?
Jesse, as much as I appreciate your service, if you were having homicidal thoughts about shooting up a school, I would want a psychiatrist to be able to report that. What this is about privacy between a psychiatrist and their patients.
We'll have to end it there. Jesse, again, and Mark Hanna, good debate. We're just scratching the surface. People want to stop the next shooting, but we want to do it the right way. Thanks so much for your perspective.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brian.